Yo, what's going on guys, Arekkz here, welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. The launch trailer for the Curse of Osiris DLC just dropped, and in this video we get a look at some new areas in Mercury, our first glimpse inside the new Raid Lair, as well as another look at a few of the new exotics, some new gear we'll be earning. So as always, I thought I'd do a quick breakdown and show you guys all the most important and interesting stuff from the trailer. As always, if you guys do enjoy this, then a like would be super appreciated. Comment down below if you have any questions. Also, just before I get started, in case you guys missed the information, then tomorrow, just before the DLC goes live, there will be maintenance. During the maintenance window, we should be able to preload the DLC. So maintenance is set to begin about 7 AM Pacific time, and that is about 3 PM UK time. And then somewhere between the start of maintenance and 10 AM Pacific, 6 PM UK time, you should be able to preload the DLC. It's a smaller window, it's not like a 24-hour window, it's basically about 2 hours to preload, but either way, that's how it's going to work. And then the DLC is set to go live, or servers will be back online at 10 AM Pacific time, 6 PM UK time. So for those of you guys that want to dive in tomorrow and play the DLC, that is when it will be live. Now, with that out of the way, let's turn our attention to this trailer. So the first part of it, of course, begins just with some story stuff, just setting the scene. You have some conversations with Ikora, showing a few different scenes of areas we'll be going, story missions and stuff like that. But that's all stuff we've seen before. So focusing on the exciting new stuff, we jump over to the part where they talk about the new story stuff. In the strike section, firstly, we have this rather stunning environment. Now, this is an area we haven't seen up until now. Bear in mind, in the streams that they did beforehand, they were very purposefully avoiding showing a certain part of Mercury. They showed us the future, they showed us the present, they didn't show us the past. This is a really, really awesome looking area, and of course if we get a chance to explore this in Patrol, that is something I genuinely would be excited to explore. Now, this is something that I'm still slightly confused about, because as I've said to you guys in the past, when I was at Bungie, I only explored the very early part of Mercury as a patrol zone. I didn't get to explore the complete unlocked area, so I don't know exactly what happens beyond the campaign. But if this is indeed part of the patrol zone, then that's definitely going to be super exciting. However, this is of course part of the story missions. Jumping over to the next scene, this is another quick shot of that new exotic Red Death style hand cannon. Still don't know exactly what the perks are for this for the time being, but it definitely seems to match that aesthetic, the spikes, the blood, the bayonet at the front. So if it ends up being like a hand cannon version of Red Death, that's going to be really cool. So that, another new exotic. We saw it the other day in a quick image, but now we actually get to see it in gameplay. This is of course part of the strike. There is the strike boss we can see in the background firing a massive laser. And we then get a look at the second strike, this time Cabal focused, and of course fighting the boss in another sort of Vex looking area. Of course, bear in mind throughout a lot of this, any of these times you see these bronze looking weapons, these are the Osiris / Vex themed weapons, the ones that you get or you can earn post-campaign. When you complete the campaign, you go to the lighthouse and you of course have that wheel on the wall, and you can then go and complete the quest to get some of those weapons. So anytime you see those bronzy looking weapons with the Vex cables and the sort of little wires around them, those are one of the 11 weapons you can earn post-campaign. Jumping forward a little bit, we get another look at another new exotic. This is an exotic shotgun. Again, not much is known about it at this stage, but it's something else to add to the list. So we now have that exotic hand cannon, we have the spider grenade launcher, we have the shotgun, and of course we have a few more on top. Another shot of Mercury in different location. We then go to look at the Titan wearing full ornamented New Monarchy faction gear. Again, looks really, really cool. They seem to really like showing this one off. I think it's probably because it's one of the most striking ones. You have all the big lion head sigils on it, and just in, you know, shiny red. I mean, red is definitely a really cool colour, my colour scheme, so I'm cool for that. But of course, the Titan is also wielding the new exotic grenade launcher, the one that fires out the little spiders that will track you on the ground. And then we get a look at another new emote here. Pretty cool. This is, of course, a selfie emote, so if you time it right, as this Titan did here, you can also catch some rather hilarious kills. Moving on from there now to take a look at some actual new gear. They go through this very quickly, but this set here, this is the Osiris Warlock set. This is the set you'll get from actually speaking to Brother Vance, handing some tokens, stuff like that. You then have the Vanguard Warlock gear, looking a little bit different, so I'm going to assume this is the ornament set, because bear in mind they said there'll be ornaments for a lot of the existing gear. Crucible set, Faction set, Vanguard set, Iron Banner, Raid Lair, etc. So this is probably going to be the existing Faction set, but with the ornaments on. Bear in mind, in order to unlock those ornaments, you have to complete certain prerequisites. So instead of actually having to go out and farm the new gear, instead you can just look at the gear you have and work towards unlocking it like that. We also have the slightly different look for the Crucible Gear. I've always really liked this one for the Warlock, so that's kind of cool. We're then going to look at the Titan Vex/Osiris themed gear. We have the Hunter. Not really a huge fan of this one, to be honest, but there is a saving grace in a moment. We then have another set for the Titan, and we have this set for the Hunter. Haven't seen this one before, and I actually quite like this one. I will say that I'm a Hunter main. I have 3 Hunters, but I feel like we don't have a great deal of exciting looking gear in Destiny 2. There's a few sets, like I like the Iron Banner set, I like a couple of the ones you can sort of get early game, but beyond that, not massively taken by them, especially that Osiris themed one. Don't really like it, to be honest. That's just my personal opinion. This one, however, that does look pretty cool. The next scene just shows a few different ships that you can earn, and then moving on from there, we get a look at the Mercury patrol space, the main area. This is, of course, with the public event going off, the bespoke public event created for the space. They then transition inside the Lost Sector. I've shown you guys some gameplay of this already. I'll link my video down below if you guys want to see some more of it. Titan, of course, wielding the new trace rifle, the one that I'm temporarily calling Warm Heart, because it's basically a polar opposite to Cold Heart. I know some of you guys have got some other nicknames for it, but either way, that's that one. Hunter there wearing that same set that I was just speaking about, but this time with a purple shader on it. And then after that, we get to the interesting stuff. So this is our first look inside the Raid Lair. Now, raids are, for me personally, the reason I play Destiny. I like raiding. It's what I play the game for, ultimately. And this Raid Lair definitely does look really interesting from this one. I will say I wasn't the hugest fan of the Leviathan, at least kind of the Golden Palace. I prefer my raids to be a little bit more mysterious, underground, in these sort of crazy looking areas. The sort of over-the-top gold was probably a little bit too bling for me. This one, however, looks a little bit more in line with what we would expect from, say, some of the previous Destiny raids. This first area looks to be like an engine room. You've got a lot of sort of power cores on the bottom. Next room looks quite mysterious with this void purple looking area. We see some Cabal drop in here, so I'm going to imagine that we are still fighting the Cabal. Obviously, do bear in mind that Callus is the pilot of the Leviathan, and while it would have been cool to sort of see some other enemies work their way in, and they could still show up, it is also worth bearing in mind this is still ultimately, predominantly, a Cabal ship. So, Cabal enemies in there. We also have another, what looks like a kind of Reactor Core. Jumping forward into this scene here, interesting looking weapon here. Kind of hard to see because it's quite dark. The front part, the sort of glowing part of the front, almost makes it look kind of like a railgun. So, that's quite cool. But the other thing to take home from this as well is that those 4 different rooms within the raid all look drastically different and all look quite interesting in their own light. So I know raid lairs are designed to be smaller than the conventional raid. It won't take you quite as long, or they won't be as long as, say, the conventional Leviathan raid, but if they're going to provide sort of varied encounters and varied environments and areas to kind of explore, then I'm all for it. Definitely looking forward to exploring that for sure. And then finally, we get another look at the Drop the Mic emote coming to Destiny 2 in Season 2, of course with Curse of Osiris, and then the trailer wraps up from there. So that's pretty much it. A look at some new gear, some new exotics, and of course, our first look at the Raid Lair. So, as always, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Reminder that tomorrow, DLC will be live, or the servers will be live, at 10 AM Pacific, 6 PM UK time, and about 2 hours before that, 2 or 3 hours give or take, you should be able to start preloading. So once the preload does go live, I'll be sure to tweet out on Twitter, so if you guys want to follow me there, then you can get your updates from there, or you can of course check Bungie or the official Twitter accounts, whatever you want to do. Either way, tomorrow, expect some videos, I'll have videos for you guys, and of course, once we get more details on when the raid will be going live, then I'll of course have guides for that as well. So lots of cool stuff to come. For the time being, thanks for watching, take it easy, catch you next time, peace out.